Welcome into the Lindsay Beckham Show. Happy Friday, everyone. I'm still saying hotty toddy.
Hotty toddy, everybody. Hey, this is Sean Yurtron. I'm here on, I guess we're doing Fridays from now on. That's our plan.
Yeah, well, it's always you that has the schedule.
Well, luckily, the little secret in Mississippi is that most judges don't like to have court on Fridays. So
Can
I have a
you
lot of
blame them?
Fridays.
Can you blame them?
Yeah, so that's the good thing.
We
About
are
that.
live coming to you from the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios right here in good old Flora, Mississippi. We did probably stay up too late last night watching the game. Disappointing, but proud of those Rebels. They played hard.
They really did. That was yeah, that was such a great moment. I think for the entire state. We've all I mean, it's not been since what the 1960s since we've been that close to one. So unfortunately, it didn't happen. Like I was saying when 5 minutes ago and we scored, I was like, yeah, it's too much time on the clock, and there was, and Miami pulled it out, and that sucked a lot, like a lot.
Yeah, it did. It did, but I couldn't be prouder of them. I really couldn't.
No, I mean, and we got a heck of a quarterback. Hopefully, Trinidad Chambliss is going to have his eligibility. Like the NCAA is going to grant that extra year, and he said he's already coming back. So
looks like we got a heck of a coach too. Pete Golding has been a class act.
Yeah, he has. He has. I think I am concerned. I think there was some during the game, just reading the breakdowns this morning about the defensive struggles. Because if you remember, Miami just kept running the ball against us so hard during the game and wore the defense down pretty good. And that I think that contributed to a lot of it. So we'll see. Look, I mean, we got a lot of people coming back. We got hopefully Trinidad will be there. It's a lot of things to look forward to, and in any event, it was just an amazing season by our Ole Miss Rebels. If you're a Ole Miss Rebels fan, I think everybody in the state was an Ole Miss Rebel fan.
I think everybody in America became an Ole Miss Rebel fan over this controversy and just the way they've been resilient.
Yeah, it's been great. Well, and also, there's another game tonight. It's Indiana versus Oregon. I know Lindsay doesn't care to watch that at all. So
no, I'm done.
You're done with college football. College football is over for you for the season.
On to the legislative session.
Yeah, I know. That's so exciting. I think, just
who
wouldn't be excited by the legislature?
I don't know. I mean, gotta get excited.
What amazing things they tend not to do there. Or so anyway, but there's also the NFL playoffs start this weekend. So if you're interested in that, there's a lot of great games. I'm going to watch all of them, and I'm looking forward to that. But we're not here to talk about football. We're just going to congratulate the Rebels and talk about other things, right, Lindsay?
Yes, absolutely.
As everybody has seen, there has been, it seems like in this country we've got a new controversy every week. Like I just sometimes want. Lindsay, can't the world slow down for 5 seconds?
No.
5 seconds. Can we enjoy a football game without somebody, some incident happening? And I guess, now with the age of social media and instant news, we just know about, and it's inundated in our lives constantly.
You got to keep everybody riled up and mad at each other, Sean. You know that.
Yeah, because this last weekend we were talking about, people were arguing about, should we have gone into Venezuela? And now that feels like 400 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're talking about what happened in Minnesota with the ICE agent and the lady that was killed and all that stuff. So that's that's this week. And we're going to talk about that for a few days. And then I guarantee you something messed up will happen next week and everybody will forget about this. That's my guess, at least.
I mean, it does seem like it's just a constant influx of news that riles people up.
And I think the makers of blood pressure medicine probably is doing a lot of big pharma, as you always say, is probably making a lot of money more in this era with news and social media to keep us riled up and to the next. At least these are real, Venezuela, the Minnesota thing. At least these are, serious topics. It's not what jeans somebody's wearing or something like that. Something ridiculous.
I'm sorry, Sydney Sweeney has great jeans.
I think she does too. I'm just saying, but it's a stupid thing to really be riled. At least these are serious matters, and I can understand.
Yeah, Cracker Barrel didn't change their logo.
Cracker Barrel, yeah, Sydney Sweeney, whatever. They whatever song Jason Aldean sings. I mean, who cares about any of these? Those are not real issues. These are real issues.
I mean, I'm a fan of Jason Aldean myself.
I like Jason Aldean. I thought the song was good too. I thought the whole thing was stupid. I don't know why. Anyway, but we are at least in the era of the last few weeks of serious topics that are being debated.
As we were walking into the Sugar Bowl, y'all, I said, we're playing Georgia, and Jason Aldean is a huge Georgia fan. He could be here, Sean, so be looking for him. And Sean said, I don't know what he looks like. I was like, oh, gosh. I had to pull out my phone and show him a picture.
I forget who I was talking to the other day, though. But that's just also me. I don't have any music knowledge past 1995. Like
Yes,
it
I
ends,
know.
you know that. Like it ends at 1995. Like
And
I
you
know
have no
nothing.
country music knowledge.
I don't know anything about country music. I don't know any music that occurred after 1995. Anything before, though, I can tell you pretty much about every musical artist from like the 1950s till 1995. But after that, I don't know anything.
But you got tickets to see Bob Dylan.
Bob
And I was
Dylan.
like, what's he singing?
Everybody, I know there's people out there that look. I'm not saying I'm the Clay and Fred and I were talking about this in our group text. And look, it's not that I'm the biggest Bob Dylan fan. Have you ever heard me just listen to Bob Dylan? Probably not, right?
No.
It's those iconic people that we're at the end of. We're at the end of the road to catch them live. Like I went and saw Elton John about 10 years ago. I saw the Rolling Stones a few years ago. I've seen Jackson Brown about 10 times. I mean, those things.
Cher.
I would go do that. I mean, there are these people that are, even if you're not like the biggest fans of their music, they're just so iconic that it's like, hey, look, I went to go see them to pay. I mean, if there was some country music artist, like name one who's iconic that I kind of would know.
Dolly Parton.
Oh, well, I actually like Dolly Parton. Now I would pay whatever to see Dolly Parton.
Willie Nelson.
Same thing with Willie. Like that's what I'm talking about. It's like these people that maybe you're not the biggest fans of, but they're just so important to the whole, cultural and musical scene.
I get it. I get it.
And so Bob Dylan's one of those.
You
didn't know. I was trying to. I was like, y'all was playing a Bob Dylan song, and I don't really know a whole lot of them either.
Well, then it was like, oh, he sings Wild Horses, and so you play. I was like, this is not the Wild Horses I know.
Yeah, or Knocking on Heaven's Door.
That's what it was.
Yeah, it was Knocking on Heaven's Door. Yeah, it's just. I mean, it's not something you're just gonna sit there and listen to every night, but we're gonna have fun. It's at the Lamar Hall, and a friend of mine.
If they open back up, that is.
No, they did. I think, or they're about to, or somebody.
But how many times have they been about to?
Yeah, but that's when Chokwe was mayor. So I mean, I think things are running a little bit more efficient. At least there's adults in the room now, where things are running a little more efficiently. So I think it's going to open.
I talked to John Horn for a little while the other night.
Did you? How was that?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I've always said that he was one of those legislators that would talk to you.
Yeah.
He might not vote the way that I wanted him to, but he would at least listen. So
listen to you. So.
Yeah. Seems like he's got a good staff going. Get some good people in charge over there.
Yeah, he's got my friend Tyree as chief of police right now until they're picking a new one. I saw there was a list of like 4 or 5 contenders that looked like they're all pretty good options.
He's got Nick Lott as doing communications. So.
Okay. So, hey, there you go. Look, hey, Clay and I were on the phone talking about this last night, and it's like, it's a kind of being the successor to Chokwe is one of the easiest jobs ever.
Yeah.
Because anything you do, you're going to look like,
you're going to look
Abraham
like a hero.
Lincoln.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you're just like, oh, look, we fixed a street light. Oh my God, that's like the Emancipation Proclamation got written or whatever. I mean, it's going to be just anything you do is going to look like you're the greatest mayor in the history of Jackson.
Yeah. So, yeah. You just got to wave and smile. You're good. You're good.
And just keep quiet and not mess anything up.
Yeah,
and not act like a jerk and like you're fine. So, but I'm glad to see that Horn is doing a good job and things are hopefully moving forward. There's these huge lofts I saw on Jackson Jambalaya that are built kind of close to my office over there in that part of Fondren, the Prado lofts or whatever. I mean, they got some developments and things are moving. There was less killings, even though we're the number one murder city in the
5 years
per capita, but it still was less. It's like 75 or something, which is better than over 100. Less dead people is always good, Lindsay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Sean. I don't know. There's those community improvement killings.
There are community improvement killings.
I said something about that on Andrew's show. I mean, yeah, I'll take those.
It's I told another prosecutor friend of mine about that phrase, and he'd actually never heard it. And what we're talking about, y'all, is that sometimes when I was at the DA's office and somebody got killed, that was kind of like a gangster or whatever, we'd call it a community service killing or community improvement killing. It wasn't like everybody was that sad about it. And now, so my friend who's a prosecutor in North Mississippi, he said he started using it, and then one of the judges is now using the term.
That's
I was like, I'm spreading it everywhere.
It makes me think of our Capitol Police friends.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's what we're going to get into today. What we want to talk about is obviously the ICE shooting in Minnesota has just split the entire nation, I think, and everybody's, I'm sure, following a woman. Do you know her name, Lindsay? I can't even remember her name.
I don't.
Was shot by one of the ICE officers as she was trying to flee the scene there, and there has been disputes in the media about what her intentions were. What should the officer have shot? Should he not have shot? And that's up to everybody's interpretation. I think everybody's having a different interpretation. It seems like your interpretation kind of goes on where your political side falls, which is really crap. I think.
Is it really up for interpretation? I mean, are they not taught to do certain things in their
Well,
training
I
for
think
their
what I'm
jobs?
saying is that people are interpreting it the way through their political lens they're interpreting. And I think, let me explain this better. I think a lot of things can be true. You sent me the thing that Chris McDaniel wrote on Facebook.
It was great.
And I thought he put it better than anybody had actually read. I think, do I think the officer was justified? Yes. Yeah, that would be my opinion in that. Do I think the woman was a domestic terrorist? No, I don't think that either, though. I think that's what I'm saying. Like, two things can be true. I don't think, from the way I'm looking at it, I don't believe she was trying to run him over, but I also don't think that he could have known that. I don't think he could have known that at the time.
But what she was trying to do was impede them from doing their job.
Sure. Right. But I mean, I think sometimes the way it was initially described, like, oh, the woman's a domestic terrorist. I don't see that.
Well, to me, it didn't look like she was trying to run him over the way they've described it. It looked like she was trying to get away.
Right.
But regardless, like, she was there to cause a ruckus. I mean, she was there to impede what they had been sent there to do and bring law and order.
Right. Whatever it was. I don't know exactly what I've heard different accounts of her, but in any event, what when the police tell you to stop, you need to stop. Like, that's just, I think that's rule number one that everyone needs to follow. It's not good to try to flee when the police have stopped you. It's just not.
No, it's not going to end well.
And yes, like, if you look at the video, it appears that she is trying to get away. But the problem here lies, to me, where the officer, he can't look at her tire, and he's not looking down at her tire that it's turning. He's looking at her, and the car is moving, and he's in front of it. So what's he going to do? Like, that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. Not that, do I think, yeah, maybe he could have jumped out of the way? Sure, but there's a lot of coulda, woulda, shouldas. But those situations happen so quick.
And you have to react. You have to, and I feel like that's how they're trained. They are trained to do a certain thing when a certain thing happens, and you have to be such a quick thinker in the moment that, I thought about, well, should he have shot her tires out? But you can't even in the moment. You can't think that fast.
No, that's I think that's true. I think
just got to react
and
lean on your training.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I think both things can be true. Like, the woman cannot be a domestic terrorist, and the cop is not a bad cop either. Like, I think that both things can be true at the same time. Or, like, he was defending himself to the standard is, do you believe you're a reasonable belief that you're an imminent threat of harm or bodily injury or death? Like, that's it. Reasonable belief that you're an imminent, fear of harm or death. So, I mean, that's all you got to have. And I think that you could say he reasonably felt that because the car is moving,
But here's the problem. So, even though he was doing his job, he's a federal agent, he's got immunity. But look at what we are seeing from Tim Walz, the governor, and the mayor. They are causing downright chaos with their narrative that they're pushing.
Well, right. I mean, I think I do not like. I thought the mayor's that mayor's an idiot.
I mean, why would you talk like that?
Right. But I think that's kind of like what I'll go back to that Chris McDaniel post, which I liked so much. The federal government, like Kristi Noem and them, are doing their narrative, like domestic terrorists. Well, I don't see the woman as a domestic terrorist either, but I also don't think the cops were doing anything wrong either. And we just in this country, we can never have a middle ground about what's going on
when you're the governor and you're calling for the other officers to fight with the ICE agents. It's like, you're supposed to be bringing the peace here. This is your state. Why do you want that?
Well, yeah, because everybody's just, like, again, trying to draw the political fault lines, which is, in a situation this volatile, somebody just needs to be the adult and say, hey, look, which, again, I keep saying, I've praised Chris McDaniel more than I ever have in my entire life of this show. Like, that was somebody I thought that was being an adult about the situation. Like, hey, look, here's what, these things can be true. This can happen, this can happen. And I think we just don't do that. We immediately have to pick a side.
Have to be angry.
The Kyle Rittenhouse situation, people would always come to me and say, wow, you're defending that guy, but you're kind of on the left. I'm like, because I look at situations objectively. I don't look at them like, okay, well, what's the political position I need to take here? Rittenhouse, to me, was not guilty. Like, that's just the way I saw that case. And even though that wouldn't go necessarily with a Democratic narrative, but I just didn't feel that he was guilty in that case. George Zimmerman's a different one. I felt that he was guilty, even though they found him not guilty. And that case became people took their political sides, which we've lost the ability to be objective in this country at this stage. And it's unfortunate, I think. But we'll get back. We're gonna compare this case with our own case here with the Capitol police officers, which is a case I think of. They're actually even more justified than the ICE officer in Minnesota. But we'll get back to that on the next segment of the Lindsey Beckham Show. Everybody stay tuned. In Minnesota, but we'll get back to that on the next segment of the Lindsey Beckham Show. Everybody stay tuned.
.1039 WYAB.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Get ready, Louisiana! Johnny's Pizza House is turning up the heat with our sweet the swamp pizza. Packed with crawfish, shrimp, a taste of crab, andouille sausage, bell peppers, onions, jalapenos, and a blend of Cajun spices, all smothered in delicious mozzarella cheese. It's the perfect bite of the bayou and the perfect meal for any Cajun crave. Try our Cajun Flint or dive into a sweet the swamp pizza bowl. A taste of Louisiana flavor is waiting on you. Let's share a slice today at Johnny's Pizza House.
Pure Air Consultants offers services on your heating and cooling system. It's time to get your heating system serviced. We offer replacement, service, maintenance agreements. It's important because if you have a gas heating system, it can produce carbon monoxide. So you want to make sure you have your system serviced and cleaned to protect your family. You want to make sure your system is safe to run. You can find us at our website at mypureairconsultants.com, mypureairconsultants.com.
So when are you going to check that thing off your to-do list?
Right, that. I don't know. How about next week?
How about now?
Or I could do it later, right?
No more putting it off. Do it now so you don't forget. You want this and have for a while.
You're right. I want this.
You deserve this. And it can help you in the long run. There. I just logged on to homescc.edu. We're getting you registered right now.
Wait. Hold up. I thought you had to show up on site to register at Homes.
You can do either one. You know that career you talk about all the time? The life you dream about? It starts today. How does that famous quote go?
Don't. Please don't.
The secret to getting ahead is
getting started.
Spring classes start January 12th, and there's no classes on Fridays. Register at a campus near you Monday through Thursday, 8:30 to 3:30, or right now at homecc.edu. And remember, your tuition could be free with a 20 on your ACT.
Holmes Community College.
no place like Homes.
Efficient and trouble-free payroll processing is crucial to a business's success, and a lot of businesses are struggling with it. PeopleLease, a local payroll provider, not only offers top-of-the-line software, but also provides on-demand payroll support services. With PeopleLease, you're never on your own at every step of your payroll process. PeopleLease has the expertise in managing payroll challenges and will work hard to understand your business and employees. That's what makes PeopleLease the perfect choice for you and your business. Learn more online at peoplelease.com.
Picture owning a piece of land where your dreams can take root and flourish. This is Tom Smith from Tom Smith Land and Homes, Mississippi's premier land and home real estate resource. I want to help you find your own paradise where you can build the home that you've always wanted or just enjoy the great outdoors. Tom Smith Land and Homes can help you secure your own slice of heaven right here in Mississippi. Visit TomSmithLandandHomes.com to invest in you and your family's legacy for today and tomorrow.
Grizz Nation, your Memphis Grizzlies season is in full swing at FedEx Forum, and there's nothing like being there to cheer on your team. Grab your tickets and bring your energy to the electric atmosphere of a Grizz game. Tickets are always available online at grizzlies.com/tickets or in person at the FedEx Forum box office in Memphis.
Come together.
And we're back on the Lindsey Beckham Show here on this lovely rainy or almost rainy Friday, where Lindsey just informed me they closed school and there was no rain. Is that right?
Well, the school's dismissed early.
Oh, they did? Okay.
So that's why I was running all over the place because got to change of plans.
You got to
And
change plans.
I mean, I almost would just rather them cancel school if they are going to possibly early dismiss, because it just puts everybody in a bind. You've got work, you've got places to be, stuff you're supposed to be doing, and then you have to, when you have 5 kids at 3 different schools, you got to round them all up and get them somewhere.
Round them up like cattle.
Right.
Trying to what time does school close? Like 3 o'clock? What time? I don't even know what time people get out of school. That's how long.
Well, yeah, the twins I pick up at 2:30, and then the middle and high school is around 3:30.
Okay, so the rain's not really starting until like 3 is what it's looking like.
Well, I guess they were just wanting to clear them out before then. So they closed at 12:15, but of course I had to get mine prior to that because I had to be here. So
gotcha. I mean, and I guess meteorologist is the most hated job in America and always will continue to be. That and used car salesman and dentist, and lawyer.
Yeah, well, Sean, the funny thing is, though, I'm sure it was the same way for you. There could be a daggum tornado monsoon coming. We were going to be in the hallway of my high school. They didn't close school like they do today.
Yeah, I remember being a kid growing up in Miami, and there's okay, well, the hurricane will be here probably in 6 hours, so we'll maybe
get under your desk and you'll be fine.
Yeah, it's we got these hallways. These schools were built in the 1920s. It's okay. These are pretty strong Art Deco style. Everything's
well,
fine.
I mean, to be honest, it probably was the safer place to be.
Yeah, probably safer than my house.
Yeah,
right. But that's the way they did it. Or actually, I remember I was thinking about this the other day, and everybody out there who's Lindsay and I are in our 40s, and if you guys can remember that era when they were taking the asbestos out of the school, do you remember that? They were taking all this asbestos and they'd move you to the trailers. So they did when I was in grade school in the 80s, they had these trailers, they'd move you out because they were taking that was a big push to get the asbestos out of the school.
Still have trailers, all the Madison schools have them because they've grown so fast that some of the classes are out in trailers.
They kept the trailer. Yeah. So they had us all in these trailers for a long time. And I was thinking, of course, as you're a kid, you don't even know what asbestos is. They're just telling you hey, you're going to this trailer. They're taking this stuff out. But now years later, I look back, I'm like, man, they had us breathing that asbestos in and they didn't care. Nowadays, the parents be like, I cannot believe the kids were breathing the asbestos.
RFK would take care of that real quick.
It would just some Karen would have a meltdown if the conditions that occurred for us as children in the 1980s occurred now.
Yeah, probably me.
You would probably be the one with the meltdown. That's why I always say, being a teacher, man, they need to pay them. You guys, this is for the legislature. You guys need to pay them more because
we're trying.
Can any of you imagine having to deal with parents and kids all the time?
Deal with me.
Literally, they should make $200,000 a year. That's my.
We're trying. They just got to pass our school choice stuff to get it.
It's a lot to deal with. But speaking of another profession that has a lot to deal with is law enforcement. And my God, that's another. I have so many friends that are police officers, and I was a police officer in the Marine Corps. And as a prosecutor, dealt with cops forever, and it's just the stuff they go through really sucks. It's you can never do right, at least when it's publicized. They do a lot of right, you just don't see it. Then, but publicly, it just it's hard. And so we, Lindsay and I have been covering the case of the Capitol police officers involved in the shooting of Jalen Lewis. That happened.
That young father.
The young father, as NBC describes him. And that case has been pending in Hinds County Circuit Court now for about over a year. I think it's going to go to trial here shortly. It should. I'm not exactly sure the trial date. But that case did involve 2 Capitol police officers, Michael Reinwald and Stephen Frederick, who are currently indicted for manslaughter. And they shot in self-defense, and I'm 100% convinced of that. So is Lindsay. When Mr. Lewis was pulled over on a traffic stop, and officers Frederick and Reinwald were directly ahead of his car, and then there was 2 other officers that I can't recall their names behind him. Lewis, in his car, he had a lot of dope. I think he had an AK-47 in the trunk.
Guns.
Bunch of guns. 2 guns beside him, one on his right, one on his left. That they
Which
found
he was pointing at the officers.
Right. Then we'll get to that portion too. So he gets pulled over, and he decides he don't want to be pulled over. So he pulls, he puts it in reverse, and he hits the officers behind him. Then he puts it in drive, and he goes at officers Reinwald and Frederick while brandishing a firearm in his hand. And they shoot, as they should have, and they killed him. Now, they got indicted for that, which Lindsay and I, of course, completely disagree with that. And I was explaining to some friends of mine that are lawyers, we were talking about that in relation to the case that happened in Minnesota. And I was actually, then I started talking to Clay about it too, and I think he mentioned on his show as well, so you got a case like the Capitol Police case, and they get indicted. for this,
when
right?
when they actually got hit by the guy and see him holding a
Right.
gun.
Yep.
Can you imagine the outrage?
Well, that's exactly, that's the point that we were, you and I were discussing, me and Clay were discussing, and then like I was discussing with my lawyer friends, like if the Capitol Police case were like a national case, except for, well, I guess it was national and NBC like completely misrepresented the facts of it. It would have the same kind of outrage, I think, or political fault lines. I don't even know. There would be, if you're on the left, I think it'd be hard to I don't know how you argue for Jalen Lewis's position. It's really tough.
Even Tim Walz, could he even say
what
that
do you
this
say?
was?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This was not self-defense on part of those officers.
Yeah, I mean, when you got there, dope dealer with gun. I mean,
I don't know, Tim Walz probably would find a way to make it.
Maybe he could, but I mean, it'd be a lot harder than. Well, the Minnesota lady is a lot more sympathetic because, 37-year-old mother of she doesn't have drugs and guns in the car. I mean, it's a little bit different. So
yeah, but here we are in Mississippi indicting these police officers who were just doing their job, who actually made the city a little bit safer that night.
Right. I mean, it's so much more egregious. Well, that's not the right word. Reinwald and Frederick were so much more in their rights to shoot Jalen Lewis,
absolutely,
than the ICE officer was even shooting this woman. And I still think he was in his rights to do it, but they are way more in their rights. I mean, if you're,
they'd already been hit.
Yeah, they were been hit, and there's a guy with a gun.
Right.
I mean, the lady in Minnesota wasn't holding a gat. I mean, she wasn't that's and people. And if now, okay, I'll guarantee you this. So if the ICE officer in Minnesota gets indicted, right, which is more difficult because what we're talking about there, he's a federal officer, and the state prosecutor's looking at now. I'm not going to get all the legal minutia of that, but it's very complicated for a state prosecutor to indict a federal officer in the course and scope of his duty. There's a lot of things that go in the ways you got to do that. It gets removed to federal court, and the federal judge has to decide. Blah 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 blah. I'm not going to bore everybody.
Well, the way J.D. Vance described it yesterday, he's got immunity.
Well, not entirely. There's a way it can be done. It's very difficult, though. I'll say that it's very difficult. It's not an easy process. It's not as easy as Lynn Fitch going to the grand jury in Hinds County indicting Reinwald and Frederick. She's got authority to do that. They're state officers, not federal. There is now. Okay, I'll give you. So, if a federal officer is committing a sexual assault on someone or some outside crime, well, yeah, it's a little different. Then that's a state crime. Then yes, they can be prosecuted for that. But what's difficult is if they're in the course and scope of their duty and they're doing something that's reasonably necessary in the performance of their duty, which the argument would be he was defending himself. Then it's hard for a state prosecutor to indict them for manslaughter because the federal judge is going to give them the immunity at that point. So that's the difficult portion there. But let's just throw all that legal stuff out of this. Let's just say this for argument's sake, hypothetical. Let's say the ICE officer gets indicted, right? What do you think is going to happen then?
I mean, I think there would be a lot of angry people.
There's going to be outrage, right?
Yeah.
National outrage, especially on the right. There's going to be a ton of outrage. Not on the left, there's not, but the right. So let's take the Capitol Police case, which is far more justified, way more justified.
So where's the outrage for them?
We don't have the outrage because it's not, there's not been a lot of podcasts on it yet. Or
instead,
it's on YouTube everywhere.
Instead, we have people like, what's his name? Ross, is that his name? What's his name from WABT?
CJ LeMaster?
No, the one that followed Michael Reinwald around the courthouse.
Oh, Ross Adams, yeah.
Ross Adams. And we have people like him who are making it this narrative that these white cops shot the black dad.
Right. Well, we're going to follow up on that on the next segment of the Lindsay Beckham show and see. I think that's something for everybody to think about. Why don't we have the outrage for what Lynn Finch did here with our Capitol Police officers who are way more justified in their shoot than the ICE guy was in Minnesota? But we'll talk about it on the next segment. See y'all in a minute. Justified in their shoot than the ICE guy was in Minnesota, but we'll talk about it on the next segment. See y'all in a minute.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Get ready, Louisiana! Johnny's Pizza House is turning up the heat with our sweet the swamp pizza. Packed with crawfish, shrimp, a taste of crab, andouille sausage, bell peppers, onions, jalapenos, and a blend of Cajun spices, all smothered in delicious mozzarella cheese. It's the perfect bite of the bayou and the perfect meal for any Cajun crave. Try our Cajun flip or dive into a sweet the swamp pizza bowl. A taste of Louisiana flavor is waiting on you. Let's share a slice today at Johnny's Pizza House.
Pure Air Consultants offers services on your heating and cooling system. It's time to get your heating system serviced. We offer replacement, service, maintenance agreements. It's important because if you have a gas heating system, it can produce carbon monoxide. So you want to make sure you have your system serviced and cleaned to protect your family. You want to make sure your system is safe to run. You can find us at our website at mypureairconsultants.com, mypureairconsultants.com.
Malone is a company in motion, striving daily to improve the way the roofing industry operates and is perceived. A leader in commercial and residential roofing, metal walls, and maintenance. Malone means the highest quality materials delivered with expertise workmanship from a claim or construction. At Malone, you found your roofing and metal walls partner. Malone has proven for generations there is nothing we can't accomplish. Protecting people and what matters to you. More info at ecmalone.com.
Dr. Mike Stonington here from Stonington Farm Grass-Fed Beef. Here in South Mississippi on Stonington Farm, our steers are grass-fed and grass-finished. No grain, no hormones, no antibiotics, no mRNA vaccines. Our grass-fed and grass-finished beef is straight from our farm to your table. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and at StoningtonFarm.com. That's StoningtonFarm.com with 2 N's. And we deliver every 4 weeks to the Jackson area. We are the grass-fed difference.
Pops Auto Sales on Highway 49 in Florence is where you come to buy quality pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, priced to fit your budget. Stop by Pops Auto Sales today, where fair prices and superior service leads to satisfied repeat buyers. Or go to popsautosales.llc.com and browse our inventory and get pre-approved for zero-down financing with approved credit, with service contracts and warranties available. And guys, our truck inventory is one of the largest for any independent dealer, period. Pops Auto Sales, Highway 49 in Florence.
At Flora Animal Hospital, our team doesn't just take care of your pet's needs. We feel like it starts with the pet parents. If the pet parent is informed thoroughly and understands the situation with the animal and why certain things need to be done or certain medications need to be given, it's easier to get that done. Our website is floraanimalhospital.com. It'll take you straight to the online store where your medicine can be purchased, food can be purchased, prescription or non-prescription, and they will be shipped straight to your front door. floraanimalhospital.com.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Are you craving a home-cooked meal without the hassle? Come over to McBee's Bar and Grill in Ridgeland for their Blue Plate lunch specials. Served up every weekday, at McBee's it's a different entree every day. Chicken spaghetti on Mondays, beef tip Tuesday, pork chop Wednesday, spaghetti Thursday, and catfish Fridays. And McBee's Blue Plate lunch comes with 2 classic southern sides and cornbread or a roll. McBee's specials are served every weekday from 11 to 2. McBee's, buzzing the res since 1982.
Come together right now.
And we're back on the Lindsay Beckham Show on this beautiful, beautiful Friday. Well, every day above ground is a beautiful day. So.
The world is sad for Ole Miss's loss.
That's it.
That's what it is.
The world is sad for everything that we encounter in the news.
That's true.
Can we have like a week with no breaking crazy news?
I don't think so.
Is that never going to happen?
Heck no.
You know, I just always wondered that. It's something that doesn't immediately make everybody jump to their sides. That's I think that should be a test that everybody should try to do. Like when there's an event, just kind of try to think about how you think about it, and don't go looking for like people who agree with you think about it. That's kind of what I try to do. Like, I immediately don't try to jump. Like, I was all pro the Venezuela raid, and then I made a post about it. A lot of my friends on the left were like, I mean, how could you be for this? I'm like, okay, it's not about narco terrorism. It's about cutting China off. And I'm for that.
Our oil supply, from the oil supply.
And I'm for that. Like, that's a good thing. This was a good thing. And I just didn't look at it from a political perspective or like should I immediately be against it because Trump's for it? Like, no, that's stupid. I think that's a dumb way of looking at things. But unfortunately, that's the way our society is. And that's why
Trump derangement syndrome is very real.
Well, I mean, but I think, if Joe Biden were president or Barack Obama, the same things happen.
Joe Biden wasn't really president.
All right, I'll use Obama then. If Obama was, immediately people are going to be like, oh, God. I mean, like I made that example that there were so many people. I remember when the raid on bin Laden happened on the right that were like, oh, well, I mean, Obama doesn't deserve any credit for this. I'm like, wait a second here. We just killed Osama bin Laden. Can everybody just be happy for 5 seconds and stop jumping to your own political side here? And that's what gets us in these problems like here with Capitol Police and with the ICE thing. Can everybody just look at what the facts are instead of immediately saying, okay, I gotta shore up whatever my position is? And I think if you do, you get to a better outcome or the right outcome. I think that applies to what we were just discussing with Capitol Police. I mean, there is just no way to look at this objectively and think that Jalen Lewis was a victim. There just isn't. Like, the guy is trying to flee or hit officers, and he's got a gun in his hand. I mean, I don't know what else you
full
want.
Of dope.
Yeah, I mean, okay, now, and I've had other lawyer friends argue with me about this, saying, well, the officers wouldn't have known about the dope in the car. That's true. Okay, well, I bet they suspected. I'm
sure they did, but they sure as heck knew that he backed up and hit him.
Right, they knew that, and they knew he had a gun. They knew he had a gun. And how do I know that they knew that? It's corroborated by the fact that 2 guns were right beside him. So when he got shot and killed, he dropped his gun, and it was right next to him. So what they said has got to be right.
They also knew that he wasn't cooperating.
Yeah.
He was not complying. He was trying to run from them or run at them,
right?
One or the other.
Yeah, I mean, they know. That's how you know the physical evidence is corroborating what they're saying.
And again, they did what they were trained to do. And if we continue to give these cops all this grief for just doing their job, then we're not going to have anybody who's going to want to be a cop, period. And then what? Then we have nobody to enforce the law.
Yeah, I mean, then I guess we like Mad Max Thunderdome out there.
Yeah.
Factions and everybody's,
I don't really know what that means, but okay.
I know you wouldn't. Guys out there, you know what I mean by that. Like, we'll have this state of anarchy everywhere. But
the purge.
So then I think the question, of course, needs to be asked, like, why would, since the conservative position, since that's the way we look at things these days, is that the ICE officer didn't do anything wrong, right? Well, then the Republican attorney general in this state indicts the Capitol Police officers, who again were far more justified for doing what they did than the ICE officer was for doing what he did. So, I mean, how does that?
Well,
what?
I just think
jihad. I don't,
Well, why don't everybody show up at the courthouse?
Yeah, I mean, just you think, you've got your own ICE case here, ladies and gentlemen. You got it. I mean, it's here, like in front of you in your backyard, and the Republican attorney general has decided that this is their crusade against the police officers for doing something that was even more justified than what happened with the ICE situation. And that just shocks me that no one's really just protesting in front of the courthouse, be like, what is this? Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, I mean, why are we prosecuting these guys for doing their job?
Mm-hmm.
It just makes no sense. And what I don't understand is, I know that the Attorney General's office is over all cop related incidents, but what about this made them think that these guys were in the wrong in any way? I don't understand it.
It's one of the strangest things I've seen in 20 years of practicing law. Like, it's especially given also, like we've talked about, the political dynamics. Now, let's say this: if it was a Democratic liberal AG and they did it, I'd be like, okay, well, at least the political dynamics lines up a little bit.
It still wouldn't be right.
It wouldn't be right. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying at least you've got the political dynamic. Okay, well, I could see that, liberal attorney general or whatever, but here you don't. You've got the opposite. I mean, heck, isn't she like suing China or doing whatever she does? I mean, she's all out there like, I got rid of Roe, and I mean, so she's super conservative is my point.
Mm-hmm.
So this doesn't really make a lot of sense.
There's got to be something more to it. There's got to be something did somebody want this done for some reason?
That's
You know
what
what I mean?
keep
There's gotta be
wondering. That's a good
something.
point. Yeah, because it's the most nonsensical thing ever. The way all
Yeah,
the
it
players
makes
involved.
no sense. And I know Lynn Fitch, and I respect a lot of the things that she has done, and I don't. This just doesn't sound like her.
And I think also what they don't realize is, I mean, I'm going to put this artfully. You have 2 white officers in Hinds County that are going to face a jury there. That's a dangerous proposition, whether they did it or not. I'm just going to be honest.
I feel like it should not be held. That trial should not be held there.
Well,
in my opinion.
you had our friend Anthony Fox situation with him, and he's a black officer. Right? They got convicted. A lot of times in Hinds County, it's just like, oh, it's a cop. I mean,
but guess who overturned that?
Well, the Supreme Court did, or the Court of Appeals.
But Lynn Fitch had something to do with that.
Well, Lynn Fitch, they argued two over. You're right. That is correct. Yes, they argued in their what's called the appellee's brief. They argued to that they should overturn it, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And the court, but the court ultimately did. Yes, right. She was pro on Anthony Fox's side.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I almost wonder what behind the scenes, who's wanting this? Is somebody wanting this done for a political reason?
And think about this: what happens if the AG's office gets a conviction?
I mean, I think there should be.
Well, I mean, obviously, for the officers, that's just a horrible thing to happen. But I mean, does she run on that? Like, hey, I convicted these 2 cops that didn't do anything. I mean, how does that work? Like, this is where it comes back to where I'm saying this is the most nonsensical thing I've ever heard of.
I don't understand it. I've tried so hard to figure out what's going on here, and my mind, I can't wrap my head around it. I mean, I don't get it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, so that's your goal. Like, I'm going to go out there. I convicted these 2 cops in Hinds County, and I'm going to campaign on this. Guess what? I got these 2 cops. Yes, protecting the rights of the dope boys. Like, what? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, it's from a political perspective,
right?
It's insane. So I don't know, and you're playing with fire there too, because it could happen.
Playing with people's lives, and they don't deserve it, and their families don't deserve it. It's a very sad situation that it's even gotten to this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it's tough, but maybe this thing, Lindsay, in Minnesota will open the Attorney General's eyes to being like, this is where the political lines on your side are. You might want to rethink this, like, because this is if the facts of this were known more nationally, you would have crazy outrage.
But again, you can't trust the mainstream media. You have to take the facts from people like us who are actually putting the real facts out there, because the mainstream media wants clickbait and to enrage. Here is Mississippi, these white cops killing these black young fathers. I mean, that's what they're trying to do. Rage bait.
Well, that's right. I mean, the point of media these days is to have clickbait to make money. I mean, that's what we're trying to do. I wrote a Facebook post the other day that, everything you see on your YouTube feed is Tim Pool destroys Candace Owens, or something to that effect. And, conservative media does it too. They have their own, like, the domestic terrorism, like this lady's a domestic terrorist. And
I've been called that before as well.
Yeah, with you, that's probably true. But but I mean,
you can't show up at a school board meeting according to Biden's Department of Justice, or you're a domestic terrorist.
No, I mean, well, there you go. See, I mean, so I'm saying they're doing that too. So they got clickbait, like, oh, domestic terrorism. Oh my God, she was running over all the police. People click on it. And then the left does it, and they're saying, oh my God, officer just guns innocent white woman down. Like, that's their narrative. And that's not true either. And I just, like, God bless. Can people just tell the freaking truth about what happened in the situation, instead of making it these extreme examples of what didn't happen? And then, like, this goes back to what our main subject of this is. NBC did this in this case with the Capitol Police officers. Their headline, and I've said this 4,000 times, people are probably getting sick of me saying it, but their headline said, "Young father killed by Mississippi officers." I mean, what BS? Like, that headline, they knew what they were doing. It was intentional to do that. They didn't say guy with bunch of dope and freaking semi-automatic weapons in cars shot by Mississippi officers. That would have been an appropriate headline also.
Right. So you should never trust the mainstream media.
But they used young father because they were trying to push forward a narrative that would make people click. And they're like, oh my God, I can't believe Mississippi cops are shooting young fathers.
No, it's like, of course they're doing that in Mississippi. They're all racist over there.
Yeah, right. This makes total sense. But if if the headline were Mississippi officers shot down dope dealer with semi-automatic weapons in car, nobody would click on
exciting.
it. Yeah, there's a million articles like that. Nobody's clicking on that one. They're like, oh, really? A dope dealer with semi-automatic weapons makes sense.
Yeah,
like nobody's gonna do that. But when you say young father, Mississippi, black guy, it fits into a perfect thing, and that's just unfair. And that's why I think everybody don't trust, whether you're on the left or right. Don't trust what you're reading. Just don't, because it's not like they are all painting it in a picture to make you click on it to make money.
What's that old saying? Believe only half of what you see and none of what you hear.
Something like, yeah.
It's true. And now with AI, you can't believe anything you see either. Believe none of what you see or hear.
I prefer Ronald Reagan's old saying, trust but verify. I think that's true. Yeah. That's kind of the way I do everything I read. I said, okay, I'm going to read this. Somebody sends me something. And then I'm like, I'm going to go look everywhere else and see exactly what happened, because I know that what I've got sent,
unless it's from the Wall Street Journal, because if you get it from there, you always think it's 1,000,000% the truth.
I think I like the Wall Street Journal. It used to be the conservative. Like, I don't know what you guys all now. Everybody's like, oh, it's a left wing paper. It's kind of funny to me, just because they said Trump was in a birthday card or something. So anyway,
oh, now you act like that's no big deal.
I mean, I think it was his birthday card. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think he definitely said it. Anyway, we'll be back on the next segment of the Lindsay Beckham Show. Stay tuned. Absolutely. I mean, I think he definitely said it. Anyway, we'll be back on the next segment of the Lindsay Beckham Show. Stay tuned.
.1039 WYAB.
Your roof is constantly exposed to the elements, battling dirt, algae, and stains. But with Watkins Construction and Roofing Roof Wash Service, you can keep it looking like new. A proprietary rooficide treatment is EPA approved, safe, and guaranteed to prevent algae from coming back for at least 2 years. No harsh chemicals, no damage, no black streaks. Just a clean, beautiful roof that lasts. Call Watkins Construction and Roofing at 601-966-8233 or visit nomoreroofstains.com today.
How do you get the hell out of your life?
Get on your knees and cry out to the Lord. He hears you right where you are.
Oh, gosh. Jesus.
Jesus. How do you get the hell out of your life?
He will love that hell out of you.
You trust in him, and you let him love the hell right out of you.
So how do you get the hell out of your life? Listen Saturday mornings at 7 and 7:30 on 1039 WYAB or wherever you get your podcasts.
Health has always been reactive, focused on fixing problems as they happen. But with Blue Primary Care, we're taking a proactive approach, working with you to help you understand your health and empowering you to be healthy. It's time to prioritize you, your health, and your life. The results? Less worrying and more living. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue.
Looking for the sweetest spot in Mississippi? Well, bring the whole family to Mississippi Candy Company. From gummies and nostalgic candies to rich chocolate and creamy Hershey's ice cream, there's a treat for everyone at Mississippi Candy Company. Enjoy freshly made, flavor-packed popcorn, even tasty lunch specials featuring their signature smash burger. Folks, they're to die for. Grandparents, bring your grandkids in today to Mississippi Candy Company, where every visit is a delight. Located 102 D's Drive, Gluckstadt, and also find them on Facebook.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit AmericansForProsperity.org. Be a part of positive change at AmericansForProsperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
A new year means a new you with a new ride from Mazda of Jackson with our extended super sale. Chart your new course in a 2025 CX-5 before they're gone. Price to move with 0.9% financing for 72 months with approved credit. And see why it's the compact crossover that's built for you. Plus, get 1-year maintenance included on your new vehicle purchase. It's time to make the resolution to choose Mazda today. Shop online at MazdaJackson.com or visit Mazda Jackson on I-55 Frontage Road.
Need to ship something fast, print something now, or wrap the perfect gift? Head to the Mailroom Gluckstadt, your one-stop shop for all major shipping carriers. We pack and ship with care, offer private mailbox rentals, copy services, create and print banners, print your photos, lamination, binding, and secure document shredding. We always have a notary available, and we do gift wrapping too. Head to the Mailroom Gluckstadt across from Callaway's or online at mailroomgluckstadt.com. Stop in today and get it all done in one place.
Hey guys, I have a secret for you. We notice. We notice when you're tired all the time. We notice when your drive is gone. We notice when you're just not feeling that into us. But here's the good news. It might not be your age. It might be your testosterone level. Hey y'all, I'm Morgan at Men's Health of Mississippi. We help men just like you. We specialize in giving you back your strength, your energy, stamina, and confidence. Don't settle for feeling less than your best. Call Men's Health of Mississippi today to find out what your testosterone level is.
And we're back on the next segment of the Lindsay Beckham Show, discussing the hypocrisy, I guess, in the Capitol Police cases and the Minnesota ICE officer shooting. And well, we'll see, Lindsay, how that ends up going. I wish officers Ryan, Walton, Frederick the best of luck in those cases that coming up, and hopefully they'll the right thing will happen. They'll be found not guilty. They've got some good lawyers behind them.
Yes, and we will be covering all of that, keeping all of you updated on what's going on when that trial starts, I believe, early February.
I think that's the aggravated assault case that with the Sinatra Jordan thing. I think that will be February 2nd. And I'm going to try to attend some of that because I'm always back and forth at the Hinds County Courthouse, and we'll keep you all updated on that. There's also a really, really interesting case going on right now at the federal courthouse that I've talked to Lindsay about endlessly. She knows I'm kind of obsessed with it. It's with the Ted DiBiase Jr. welfare trial, of the one that Chad White had busted up, the whole Mississippi welfare scandal. Mm-hmm. And so he's the only one of the defendants in that whole welfare trial. What?
I read something funny.
Okay.
In the voir dire, they asked all of them if any of them had read Chad White's book. None of them had. And then some of them said that was something they would never want to read. I was like, well, way to jab Chad White in your article, Mississippi Today.
Am I the only person that's read Chad White's book cover to
I've
cover?
Read it. I've read it.
I've actually read it, the whole thing. Yeah. So, this is about the whole welfare scandal, the Brett Favre stuff, all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. Well,
Zach knew,
right? Nancy knew. Ted DiBiase Jr. was involved in that. And so he's the only defendant out of all those people that have actually opted for a trial. So that's going on right now. They had some testimony yesterday. I've not got to go through that, but I'm really interested in what's going on there. And what kind of stuff is going to come from that? And I'm guessing it's going to be a lot of I'm going to say some finger pointing is what I'm thinking, Lindsay, most likely.
Oh, yeah.
Like Phil Bryant, or Brett Favre, and a lot of that kind of stuff.
Passing the buck.
You're going to pass the buck on all that stuff. So there's going to be, everybody, you should, if you get a chance, go. Mississippi Today's got some good coverage on it, and I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, it's hard to trust anything that comes from them.
Speaking of places you can't really trust that well, and that's a good point. So, but they've got some coverage, but he is the only one in the welfare scandal that is currently in trial. So I checked that out, and that'll be going on, I think, for the next few weeks.
Yeah, I'm sure that it will be happening.
Well, yeah,
we'll keep you updated on that too, as well.
We will anyway.
It's been a slow start to it.
Yeah, it took them a few days to get a jury. So I think yesterday was the first day of full testimony, and what I've heard is going to last a couple more weeks. So it'll be interesting. Anyway, we will. Lindsay, will see you on Monday to talk about something about the legislature or whatever.
It's something good.
Okay.
School choice, probably.
See you later. Bye.